Hi everyone, thanks for having us. Dan O'Connell, this is my co-founder of BrandLab360, Jennifer Drury, and I just noticed it was just me on the graphic there, and that's because Jen actually flew in from Gibraltar today to come and speak. So I'm glad to have her on stage with me. What we do, we're one of the, I guess the we call in the Metaverse. But what is the Metaverse? Such an interesting thing, because does anyone have a concise explanation for it? Since Facebook announced their name change and Microsoft bought a gaming company for 69 billion or whatever it was, everyone wants to talk about it, but I'm not sure if anyone's got a clear vision of what it means to their customers. People will say it's virtual reality, spatial web, Web3, v-commerce. It evokes images of headsets and NFTs and all these crypto aficionados like taking over the virtual world. But in fact, we've been building this type of tech for a long time now, and the underlying technology is gamification, video gaming actually, which obviously we all know has been around for so many years, but it's now being used as a kind of platform to almost network and run what people are calling the Metaverse. So for us, the Metaverse is just that. It's an elevation of online experiences. We currently view the internet as a sole experience. We're on the outside looking at a screen, clicking photographs, adding to baskets and transacting. Whereas in Web 3.0, you're inside of that website, looking around, connecting. But crucially, with the internet currently a sole experience, it's the ability to be together while you're online. And I think, you know, from the onset of civilization, really, humans have been wired to congregate. And when humans congregate, they buy, sell, trade, markets happen. So I think that's it for us. It's an elevation of online experiences. And we're actually quite bullish that we feel that probably within 6 or 7 years, more people consume the internet with Web 3.0 than they will with the current way we do things. How we got into the Metaverse very quickly, and what we're going to do is show some current live projects being run on Web3, Metaverse experiences with some of our customers, just to kind of show how it works in practice, I guess. But how we got to being involved in the Metaverse was completely by accident. We're both from the fashion industry. A long time ago, I ran a fashion brand, and Jen was a buyer who ran stores. And when we started BrandLab, because we were frustrated with the lack of the ability to move into different markets without spending fortunes, the lack of kind of automation in the buying process. But when we launched BrandLab, our first product was a kind of B2B, a B2B e-commerce platform where brands and buyers would upload their inventory and they would buy. But it was a fashion buyer who said to us, you know, in real life, I go to the showroom, 3,000 products, and I physically merchandise empty rails for my 50 or 60 for John Lewis, whatever it is. It'd be amazing if we could literally pick up an item and merchandise an empty rail. But we knew we couldn't do that on e-com, so you know that was our kind of step into the Metaverse, realizing we had to build a gamification platform to serve our customers. And then what's happened since is we were very successful in virtual reality showrooms for our customers, but very quickly that moved into direct-to-consumer experiences. But not just that, also every element of at the start of fashion brands processes, but then latterly other industries, from colleagues meeting in these virtual worlds, remote working, launching products, press days, and then D2C experiences. So we're going to start by showing you a project that we did for Estee Lauder. Quite a brave step by them actually to actually say to their customers, don't shop on our e-com site, shop in the virtual maison. And I'm going to operate it, and Jen's going to talk you through it. Yeah. First thing I should say is it's very smooth on here, but because of the share screen, it appears that we're jumpy, but it is a smooth experience. And I'm a first person avatar in this experience, going shopping for makeup and cosmetics. I'll leave it to you, Jen.
Okay, like Dan said, a really brave move by Estee Lauder, because this is one of their younger brands. So I think from their perspective, they wanted to showcase this to a slightly younger audience first, just to see how it was received. It's been really well received. So, I mean, as you can see, it isn't real life graphics for Too Faced. We've gone along with their brand DNA and their kind of makeup, which is the brief they gave us originally was almost like an Alice in Wonderland type experience where you can really lose yourself. So as you can see here, you enter through the front doors as you would, a normal store, and then obviously there's no limitations on your imagination, obviously no cost limit, or not the same cost limitations that there would be in real life. So they're able to kind of create a really incredible and immersive experience for their consumers. So I think the most important part from a marketing perspective is that as soon as we walk in here, Estée Lauder are able to see live exactly where we go and exactly where everybody goes. So as soon as we went in, we walked straight to the video. So they've then got that opportunity to live stream and market directly to that audience. Lots of different analytics available, such as where everybody congregates, what products are being moved, what products are being viewed, showed to their friends, which is something that I can show you in a second. And obviously you've got a real-time experience. So you've got all of the products that would be available to them in their e-com store, and you've got the element of gamification. So what Dan's showing you here is basically humans feel very immersed when they're asked to do tasks, and there's an element of achievement at the end of that. So Too Faced have been able to use that kind of that knowledge to create discount codes. So if you imagine you just go onto a website and you're given a discount code, you're reluctant to kind of go in and spend it, whereas there is that element of achievement here. So you can use that discount code then to carry on through the checkout. And you can play various games, and you can learn more about the brand, learn about the brand history, and just get very involved. And this particular consumer audience is very involved in the brand. They've got a lot of influencers and a lot of Instagram marketing. So this type of thing is the type of thing that they enjoy doing. So as you can see here, this is one of their hero products. It's called Lip Injection. It's unbelievable. It makes your lips about 10 times the size, which is the fashion right now, isn't it, to have huge lips. So this is their hero product, and you can go on, and as you can see, you can make the lips bigger on screen, and it is very interactive. One of the most important things across all of our technology and included here is that you don't need any extra APIs or coding, so it is very simple to set up. So for a company such as Estée Lauder, obviously we had to jump through a million hoops. One of the things that they really liked is the fact that we're able to embed their existing technology and their existing website into the experience. So you don't have to leave the experience to buy. So it's a simple what we call iframe that allows there's an info tag effectively that allows the user to click on that, go straight to the Too Faced online store and buy as they usually would. So you can use that then behavior to see what existing customers are doing and what products they're viewing, etc. This is something that's really cool. It's my favorite bit about it. I talked about influencers being really important in this kind of demographic. We can use what we call here a digital twin. And this is Jared. He's the founder of Too Faced, and he's very active on social media still. He sold the company to Estée Lauder for a lot of money, but still very involved. And he wanted to become very involved in this process. So here he is. I don't know whether you can show Jared. Introduce
Hello, it's so great to see you. I'm Jared Blandino, co-founder and chief creative officer of Too Faced. Welcome to the House of Too Faced.
So obviously, again, keeping the audience very engaged as it gets. So this is placed at the end of the experience, and it uses AR to allow consumers to ask questions. So it's very interactive. One of the things that's really important, again, I think, in terms of customer spend is apparently research shows that when you shop together, you actually spend more, up to about 50% more, as far as I know. So you can share a link to your friends. So you can have, so this is completely unlimited. So Too Faced as a business can have completely unlimited amount of people in these experiences at the same time. You can then create a private experience. You can see Dan's come up on the screen here. You can create, as a consumer, create a private link and then send that to one of your friends and then meet in here. So you can obviously you can shop together, and again, making it more immersive, more enjoyable. I think we've all sat there watching TV, putting things in our basket and, you know, never going back to them. I know I do that all the time, constantly shopping, never checking out. So this obviously immerses the customer in that experience, and I think the sell-through rates obviously are a lot better. And apparently Estée Lauder are telling us from those analytics, we've created a back-end dashboard for them so that they're able to use all of that data. And they're telling us that people are actually spending 12 times more in this experience than they are on their standard e-com site, which obviously speaks for itself. And again, I think people were 5 times more likely to recommend this type of experience than just a traditional e-com site. So it's definitely working for them, and our feedback has been amazing from them so far.
Yeah, and I think that's the key. We probably only showed you 5%, 10% of that experience there, but we were in there for quite a long time, even though it went quick. And I guess if a key metric in marketing is user engagement and all that type of stuff, then it immediately feels more immersive. But one thing to say there, it sits on top of the e-com website, as Jen said. There's no re-engineering or re-architecture going on. It's a simple kind of embedded link that streams a video of the product page of what we're displaying. So it very much sits on top of existing e-com, but just brings that social connection together so people can hopefully buy more. I think we started off in fashion, wholesale fashion. I think fashion now is only 25% of our revenue. Again, when Mark Zuckerberg mentioned the word metaverse and everyone started talking about it, we've had a huge surge of interest from some world's top names, and we're doing projects at the moment for the likes of Warner Brothers, big construction companies, building digital twins of shopping malls in Dubai and things like that. But it's very interesting because not everyone, again, knows or has worked out, I guess, what they think their strategy in the metaverse is.
I think a lot of people heard the word metaverse, but again, didn't really understand it. And I think when people started talking about the metaverse, it was a new word to us as well. It was something that we'd never used to describe our technology before. And we do have the advantage that, you know, we've been doing this for a number of years now. We used to actually call it v-commerce, which I think really does describe what we do. But I think the metaverse then brings all that together. So all those kind of separate v-commerce units, it just brings it together under one umbrella.
Yeah, we wanted to show you something from a customer in America. It's an off-plan property, actually. So off-plan properties are sold via brochures and imagination. We were able to build in photorealism the properties so people can have a walk around and they can invite their friends in, their family, feel what it's like to sit at the kitchen table and things like that. It's just taken a little while to render, again, because of the lag to the screen. But this is really interesting. I think just to talk about the technology, we feel that if the metaverse is going to be a mass way we consume the internet, then obviously barriers to entry like headsets and big apps and big downloads are going to stop that movement. As you can see here, we're in a web browser. It's a simple web link, 5-10 seconds to load up. So we've managed to find a way to stream photorealistic graphics down into the user's web browser by effectively placing our back end, which we grandly call the virtual machine, and it's kind of in the cloud streaming down the video to the browser. But this is very interesting even for the property industry, because not only is this a way that they can sell these properties to people, we can even do it from the ground up. So you can build the shell, and architects are meeting interior designers in there to save them meeting up in real life. So it's a really good way to kind of make some business operations efficient. And again, I just notice how laggy it is, but it's not on my screen. I think hopefully you all agree that the graphics in here are really good. Again, I'm an avatar in there. It's not a photograph like some virtual experiences are, 360 rectangular photographs, a bit like Street View. This is actually a gamified environment. And to show that, everything's modular in here, so I can click this color palette here and change the color of the sofas. I can actually redecorate this whole home, to imagine what kitchen units I want and things like that. Which is really cool. This
is really great for when people are selling off plan, because obviously you meet in the property or in a show home with the developer, and obviously you're choosing your kitchen, you're choosing your furniture, and even again for large developers that subcontract that work out to interior designers, then that for rental purposes, then again it's a really incredible tool. And it has the live video chat, so it means that you don't actually have to be there together. You can use it virtually.
Yeah, so I think another thing about if the metaverse is going to be a real immersive experience that really elevates online, it has to be photorealistic, especially in fashion where we're from. Some of our top customers, they don't want gamified graphics, and some of the early adopters of the metaverse are very much, Roblox, Minecraft style graphics. So for us, especially with luxury brands, we had to find a way to make these things photorealistic. And it's just little things just to show how modular it is. Everything in gamification can be moved. I can pick my desk up here, I can take it downstairs, I can spin it around, I can purchase it directly from Apple within here. Every single object in there has been drawn up with 3D digital design, which means that the possibilities are endless, really. And I think what Jen said earlier in Two-Faced about humans completing tasks, that there is a sense of achievement about unlocking challenges and completing tasks. So I think gamification is such an amazing tool to get discount codes and to keep people engaged. And that's before you go into the kind of the crazy world of NFTs and all that stuff, which we'll touch on in a minute. Yeah. I think what we're showing you here as well, the way we can just go over to the wardrobe there and click the info tag and purchase that. It's not an NFT. That will get delivered to my house the next day. It's sitting on top of a website. It's not reinventing the wheel, but it's creating a better user experience, which we think is important. So basically, the core of everything we do is around bringing people together. And we think that the metaverse as a concept, that is its best feature. It's the ability to enhance existing online. We're not saying, grab the market share of the real world, because of course the real world's always going to be better. It's always going to be better to go shopping with friends and interact. But if we do stuff online anyway, why not make it a better experience, I guess, is what we want to say. This is a little thing we knocked up. This was Jen's idea. We did this in half a day just to get something up. So the graphics are not brilliant, but did you want to explain the concept behind this, Jen?
We actually thought of this. We were driving to London a couple of years ago now. And Dan was telling me during the pandemic, he was trying to share a screen on Zoom with his mum to do a grocery shopping, because obviously she couldn't leave the house, he couldn't get to her, and it was an absolute nightmare. When you walk into a grocery store, especially one that's geographically close to you, you know exactly where you're going. And as you know, the bread and the milk is at the back of the store, giving the business the opportunity to really use visual merchandising with that customer. So what we wanted to do was make an easier experience. So like Dan said, this is just something that's been mocked up. We're actually working with a number of representatives at Asda, but it's still it's still in the pipeline, this one. But as you can see, when we're walking along, everybody knows what an Asda store looks like. There's no surprises. We drag and drop into the basket, so it does create a very lifelike experience. Ideally, eventually, it could be, you could be merchandising to that customer on from a live basis. So you could be watching where they're going in that particular session and using AR to ensure that, you're selling to them in the right way. So, it is a little bit primitive, this one, but it's something we're really excited about. We've been approached by a number of different supermarkets, and we did have an idea to have almost like a car park with all of them surrounding. So a lot of people don't like going to one place for everything. So then you get the option then. But again, it's just an overlay of the existing technology. So you add to your basket, you go into your Asda account. So in terms of e-com, they can still use exactly the same selling tools and discount tools, but obviously then you get the extra benefit of
I think from a marketing perspective, personalization is massive here. Yeah. You could have vegan-only experiences, halal-only experiences, all seamless.
And
when you're going and geographical.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, we've still got the start chat button. I live in Genders, she's in Spain, but I live in Newport, and I often bump into Hussein in the supermarket, and if it's regionalised and I can see Lee in here, I can again start a chat and have a chat with him in the supermarket aisle, like I do in real life.
And there's an opportunity then to link that to social media. So like you go down your local supermarket and you bump into your friends, if you see someone that it could be linked in a way that if somebody's on your Facebook friends list, they automatically appear in the store. So it does again give that human element. I think it's really exciting. It's a much easier way to shop. I hate grocery shopping online. I find it really annoying. So. And
we felt we just wanted to just briefly show something, and hopefully I can get someone live in there to join me as an avatar. But this is actually a concept that we've been talking to Lee and Jason about, which we'll just show you very briefly, and it's around events. Because again, if the metaverse is a great tool for bringing people together, obviously the events industry is something that relies on relationships and interaction. So what we wanted to set out to do here is kind of build something that has a kind of self-serve platform that is intuitive and easy as something like Hopin, but in a virtual environment. So yeah, hopefully as I go in here, there might be some people in there, but effectively it's and this is very much a draft kind of work in progress, but it just shows I can go and click and claim booths. I can invite people into the booth with me. I can have a password protected chat in the boardroom. I can upload my logos, presentations. I can even go up to the coffee area and you know, have kind of if you've got deals with Deliveroo or Just Eat, and claim my voucher and things like that. But it's really cool. The idea of it is, rather than being kind of like just tapped by anyone being able to come over to you and say hello and try and sell to you or whatever, there's a little phone here. It's like a virtual iPhone, and basically you see the list of attendees and you text them and request a connection request, or you connect with them on LinkedIn, and then you can have a quick phone call, and maybe you can say, you know, can we go for a video chat somewhere? So in this sense, hopefully one of my colleagues will recognize what I'm doing here. I can sit down in one of the chairs here. Again, my video and potentially sound will come up, and someone comes to sit next to me, we'll have a video chat. So again, a really cool kind of smart way of making virtual events a bit more intuitive. And with that, they can be hybrid. So if you imagine an event like this, it's a big screen, maybe with headphones to make it more, headsets to make it more immersive. And you could have the situation where you could be running virtually. The people who couldn't make the event can be walking around the virtual event. It can be a digital twin of this one. And you could, you know, perhaps go in, put the headset on and have a chat with people who are not actually here. So it's a great way of organising hybrid events.
Yeah. I think it's around, from our research in fashion, particularly in terms of trade shows and various events, up to 80% of people who actually want to go can't attend the event for whatever reason. You know, and people are now used to working from home. They prefer that. There's a very different balance when it comes to your working life now. So this, you know, it saves that 3 hours on a train or that overnight stay. So as Dan said, like a hybrid of the two, I think is really exciting, because the people can still come to events, you can still socialise. And then obviously whoever's not at the event, whoever's there virtually, is still able to socialise afterwards among themselves if they want to as well. So it is really exciting.
Yeah, I was just going to see if I can call someone. Okay. But it's really cool, this. I'm not sure if our sound is coming through in this, but yeah, it'd be interesting actually, because I was talking to Lee and Jason earlier about the possibility of running some type of little kind of demo focus group event, just 10 minutes of you guys' time at a later date, just to see the functions and feel how intuitive it is. Mm-hmm. So I think the last little bit we wanted to show you is a really interesting one. So when we build an experience for a customer, it's their experience. It's hosted on their website. They're still responsible for driving the traffic to it and all that stuff. I'm not sure how many of you guys have heard of Decentraland and some of these virtual worlds, the Sandbox, Decentraland, these crazy places where people are buying virtual plots for $3 million. It's just, how can that be possible? So we did some joint talks with some of the guys from Decentraland. We were like, right, well, one, it's a bit like Roblox and stuff, and we can do photorealism, so we're going to get on this. And we decided to launch an experience called Metatown, which is launching next month. But why would anyone pay £3 million for virtual plot land? It's quite simple. It's the experience itself has loads and loads and loads of traffic, loads going on, and you can monetize that piece of land by having a virtual shop in there. You can monetize it by having virtual events in there. And it's no different, really, as crazy it sounds, to buying or leasing a plot in a high street and then monetizing that space you've bought. It's the same thing. I mean, if we can ever sell some virtual land for $3 million, we'll be happy. But in our experience in Metatown, it's e-commerce mainly. There's shopping districts everywhere. You can go shopping with your friends. It's also a social experiment. We've got Deloitte, for example. They've got an office in there, and a high-rise, so you can go for job interviews. Manchester Uni, digital twin of the halls are there. There's all these things. But we've also put 6,000 plots, and we've built properties on the plots, so people can go in there and house their NFTs and all that stuff. And we call this 6,000 the founding residence. But we did a pre-sale of 300 plots, and even to our astonishment, they sold out within 4 minutes online at £1,000 a pop. And it just shows this growing movement towards this whole market. I mean, people can speculate. Of course, they can trade it on the secondary market and all those things. But interestingly, someone has already said, can they apply for permission to change their residential plot into a commercial property because they want to lease it out to someone. So it's just using usual commerce, but in a virtual setting. It'd be remiss of us not to show off our suburbs in Metatown. Again, as you can see, hopefully, it's not Roblox or Minecraft.
Yeah.
There's my house there at the end of the street.
It's a very big house.
Do you want to talk just about the style tips in the closet and that type of stuff, Jen?
So one of the things that was really important to us was to actually make this work as a usable product. So it's great that in Decentraland you can go in, you can buy a house and you can go in your house, but then what do you do? I mean, it's exciting for a while and then it gets a little bit boring. So we want to be able to tie the two together. So we talked about having residential plots and commercial plots, and a lot of our customers now, and as Dan said, we're very fortunate to have very large customers, really kind of global customers. They now are going to have a lot of their experiences based within Metatown. So the advantage of that is to be able to manipulate the residents, hopefully all 6,000 residents within that space. So as you can see here, you can buy, I think this barber, one of our customers, you can buy that coat in the barber store, which is in Metatown. It gets sent to your home address at home, and then an NFT version then gets sent to your wardrobe. In the experience. It's kind of very much a replica of real life, and it is a bit of fun.
I was going to say, from a marketing perspective, our brands can send kind of daily style tips to your closets, and it's not just fashion. Obviously, you could have furniture stores send in, how nice does this lamp look in your home? Do you want to buy it straight away? So it's interesting, the elevation of analytics from e-com into v-com and what can be done with that, I guess.
And that can be either virtual products, real products. Obviously it's, I think it's great as a marketing tool in terms of just being able to have that reach. And a lot of people are going to be doing this. And it's crazy to think that this is the near future. But it really is. I think a lot of people, and certainly businesses, are obviously on board with this now. And I think what we're trying to do is to be that jump between, you don't have to have NFTs, you don't have to be experts in the metaverse, but we can help you jump from your existing e-commerce just a little bit of a step up, because it is baby steps until, we get to wherever the world is going to. And I think that'll be a lot faster than we think it'll be, certainly post-pandemic, which I think people's behaviours has changed quite dramatically. So, it is really exciting. If we'd have had Metatown during the first lockdown, I think, we wouldn't have gone as crazy as I think a lot of us did, because, again, it gives that human element and that interaction, which is really important, and from a marketing perspective as well.
Yeah, so you can just see here, it's gone from date to night. I've clicked the button again, just giving that element of realism. So when this is all built out, I'll be able to go and walk into town and see people, meet people, try and connect with them if they want to chat with me and network and things like that. I guess the marketing perspective on it, though, and I'm just going to load up one of the shopping malls just to finish off. From a marketing perspective in there, it's the fact that, as I say, we deliver experiences to customers, but in these virtual worlds, you can drive traffic. Because take the Estee Lauder store we showed you earlier, Too Faced, that's built. It's in virtual reality, it's a 3D digital asset. We literally are just lifting it and putting the same asset in Metatown to drive traffic to that as well. And I guess the Metaverse, how people want it to be or expect it to be, is a series of interconnecting experiences where you can go from website to website, but within a world. So it means that providing the modeling's correct, there's no real reason why in the future I can't walk into Decentraland and then walk into Metatown and then walk into somewhere else and stuff like that. So it's really exciting in terms of the use of it as a marketing tool, but not just to the consumer, as I say, all the way through B2B product design, all the way through a company's operations. Yeah,
I think one of the things that we missed when talking about Too Faced, and it's very important to a lot of customers and to Deloitte is that we're able to provide sensory experiences as well. So one of the challenges that we've had is we were asked to create a sensory world where a brand could sell fragrance. Now, obviously, as you can imagine, it's almost impossible to sell fragrance online, and sales of fragrance dropped dramatically across the pandemic. So we created a world where you had various options as an avatar to walk through a world where the first world would be very wooded with lots of greenery. The second one would be bright red, bright orange, lots of different. So it was very realistic, but had lots of little accents in there where that kind of helped the brand understand that human behavior and where people go to next. And I think we had running water and various other things. So it allowed the customer to get to the end of the experience and then be presented with a number of options that would be suitable for them. And again, playing games and interacting. And then obviously fragrances. I think the first project fragrances went in terms of sales went a lot higher than they expected.
You're just conscious of time. I know we could talk about this all day. There's two of my colleagues there. There's Charlotte in this. This is going to be a shopping precinct with a Metaverse. It's actually a project for Deloitte in Dubai. You can actually see some of the skyline over there, but it's really funny because that's Charlotte and Dean, my colleague from product development, just walked down the road and I can go and sit and have a chat with him. I'm not sure if some of you recognise that we've blatantly kind of ripped off Bicester Village in this design. Or Deloitte has, not us.
I was going to say, that's what I asked for. We didn't.
But effectively, Deloitte, their customers are going in. This is called Store of the Future or Mall of the Future. And there's various shops going in here, supermarkets, bowling alleys. A lot of the brands that are in the Dubai Mall are coming in here. We haven't really been able to demo this today, but we've created the ability for thousands and almost unlimited people actually to all be in this environment at the same time, interacting, shopping together. And although it's a kind of a crude example because there's no products in this store, I don't believe, it just shows how you can, they're all linked again to e-com, but I think you can pick them up and go, and they're only demo products, but you can pick it up and go and take it to the counter. And one thing that bugs a lot of people is live chat bots on websites. In here, you can start a chat with a shop assistant, be in a queue, and go face-to-face with someone live. I think it was really important. So altogether, I guess, in conclusion, is I think one thing we firmly believe there has to be baby steps to the Metaverse. Again, if all of a sudden everyone has to have an expensive headset and download a huge app or have a big download or company firewalls and all that, it's just not going to happen. So as you can see, I hope we've showed that the Metaverse can be accessible and a real cool way for people to feel together. And it does come across as a bit dystopian, all this, but there's a real kind of cascading shift, we feel, in the way that people are talking about digital transformation and using this type of technology as a kind of tool. So ultimately, for us, it's about producing a better consumer experience and, again, making people feel connected. Because we're from the fashion industry and the trade where relationships are so important, it relies on that. So this is, as I say, that was our path into kind of gamified worlds because we felt it made the online experience better. And again, if people have to do stuff online, we're in that world, aren't we? And the pandemic and everything since then, but why not make it something that makes people feel connected to their peers? And I think that's the great thing about the Metaverse, is bringing people together. Yeah. And I think that's us. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks.